I got to lean in.
What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It is time to lean in, bitch. Welcome to another Thursday night. And this is the first Thursday night for this show, but we're going to talk about the Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip. I'm here with Chad and Antonio, who may be having technical difficulties, but he'll be here. And Chad is
low budget.
I know, right, Chad? You know, every week somebody got to give a little low budget, so that's just what we are. We just low budget collectively.
Well, the show goes on.
Right. Okay. Well, Chad is calling all the way from Houston, so we're glad he can tune in from Houston. And there's Antonio. What's going on, Antonio? They was calling you low budget show. I had your back.
Whatever, Cortez.
All right, y'all. Well, listen, we're to talk about the Real Housewives Ultimate Girl Trip, episode 4. I just watched it. That's why we're like a minute so late because I was literally watching it and coming over here. But it was actually a really good episode. A lot of mess, and I would just say that I'm really glad that they chose Porsha, Gizelle, and Candiace for this show because, to be honest, they are really pushing the show. They pushing the other girls. They're making them do shit that I feel like they would never do on their franchise. And it's quite entertaining. With that being said, and there's Jazz. Hey, Jazz,
I don't do this. This is not me. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Hey, Jazz.
Jazz is here too.
It might be Jamie or Antonio, but this is not what I do.
It's not the light quad. All right. Well, listen. Like I said, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll go ahead and get into the episode. We're gonna be here every Thursday for the rest of the season. I don't know how many episodes they have, but I know they shot for 10 days. So, but we'll see. Maybe it'll actually be less. I hope it's only 7 episodes. I need to try to find out because we love a little short living series, no shade. Especially after knowing that Atlanta is coming out in like 4 weeks. This show needs to be done by then. I ain't gonna lie. And there's that show, The Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, which looks very interesting. Not sure if we're gonna recap it or not, but there are people that were interested, so we'll see. Asia in the chat, speaking of interest, because Asia was like, we gotta do that show. But we'll talk about that show then. Let's get into this episode. So last week we did episodes 1, 2, and 3. And on Sunday, we talked about the crazy boat scene. There was a lot of arguments, specifically Leah against Porsha and Gizelle. Candiace got into it with Porsha. Candiace and Gizelle. It was a lot of different arguments, right? So obviously, obviously Whitney and Houston. And Whitney Houston. They got me saying that fucking shit. Whitney and Heather, not Houston. They got me saying that. But all that happened. So we pick up in episode 4. It's the next day. And of course, the aftermath of the boat, everybody was over it. Porsha suggested that the girls go skinny dipping. I guess they didn't go. I don't know if I caught this wrong, but did she say that Gizelle was a black-white girl?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But when Candiace says it, it's a blowout. But let Porsha and her Dr. Rudy say it. It's okay. It's fine.
I'm glad she said that because at least we know how she feels. We always saying the same damn thing, but that's a whole different conversation. I ain't gonna talk about colorisms right now.
Talk about colorism. DeLon gonna call in again. They call people mud.
Oh Lord, please! If y'all want to talk about that, go to IJ Nicole on Instagram, and she is he is always ready to talk. I promise you. All right, so after that, Alexia thinks that they're eating dogs. They're not eating dogs. Candiace, she feels like the housewives, they can show their lives, they don't get anything for it. So they have this little video of like the days of our wives. I thought it was kind of hilarious, especially seeing Heather. Heather's, I don't know what she was staring into, but she was into it. Whatever they told her to do,
she was into it.
So kudos to her for that. But the first scene that we get is at breakfast. And at breakfast, they're asking Leah like how she's feeling and things like that. And she's kind of short with everybody. She's just like, oh, I'm good. She's fine. Alexia and Marisol ask Heather if her and Whitney are okay. I don't know why they keep asking them about this. Clearly, they're not okay. They're not leaving any of these arguments on good terms, but they keep asking. But Heather mentions the whole Whitney doing for TV. And so Leah basically tells Heather that Whitney said, I should just watch out for you. I ain't gonna lie. This is what she said. Basically, add more salt to what's already going on. Leah knows what she's doing. Porsha and Gizelle, they finally come in. I don't know if y'all noticed Porsha booty so big. And them pajamas, baby, them pajamas was getting ate up.
Yes, there was.
I was like, oh.
She got some clappers now.
When they came in, she said it smelled like bologna. I fell out.
I'm weak. I'm definitely weak. I wonder what was the smell? Was it the food or was it? I'm scared to know because when somebody say bologna, that means somebody burned.
Because my immediate thought was just white people, but that's none of my business. No, I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna cancel Jazz.
Write that out.
It was wet and stuff, so I didn't know if it was like, I don't know.
Yeah. So they arrive and they want the tea. And basically Marisol's like, girl, no, we ain't talking about nothing. We're not, as in like Gizelle said, we ain't giving y'all shit else. I'm glad about time they was like, let's not talk too much because these girls are really producing us, specifically Gizelle. But Porsha got her hands in it too.
Yes.
And so they talk about massages and games today. It's gonna be raining. Porsha is pep talking Heather and basically telling her, like, listen, girl, like I support you, I feel you. She's trying to get more information about the process of getting her name taken off the Mormon Roller website. But in this same conversation, Heather reveals that she has not actually started the process. And it was said in the previous episode that she did, or at least it was assumed. So Porsha's lost, and she says basically, you're not a bad Mormon, you're a bad liar. I'm like, girl, she's both. Both at this point. Give me y'all thoughts on this part, and then I'll get to the other part with Lisa Barlow and Whitney in the conversation. Chad.
I thought it was interesting because Porsha, you know, she already don't have it all together anyway. The elevator don't go all the way up.
Hold
so
on.
it was kind of interesting when she was like, you know, trying to make it seem like Heather was lying. I don't think she ever really insinuated that she had started the process. I think they just thought that she was trying to do it because she was, you know, with her and Whitney had a little tussle. But I don't know. Porsha was she kind of annoyed me a little bit because I'm like, all right, there you go, putting words in her mouth. She didn't say that. You know, just give her a chance. As we clearly see, it take a long time to get that stuff taken off. So I didn't really, it was nothing really to go think too much about. But Porsha, she already didn't know what was going on anyway. So,
Antonio?
I thought Heather attempted, kind of insinuated that she had started it when her and Whitney were having that argument, and she said, how long did it take you? And she was like 15 years and it just got done. She was like, exactly. I thought she had kind of started the process, but she was just making it seem like it's not something that happens overnight. But then at breakfast, you know, she stated that she hadn't even started it yet. So I think that's
what I thought too. I ain't gonna lie. I thought the same. I mean, maybe she didn't say it, but it was kind of assumed by the way.
But she also said on the last episode too that she doesn't participate in anything at all. So it's not a big it's not on her radar. So that's why I was like, I didn't really take it as she had started the process at all. She don't really care about it. It's almost like me. I'm a Baptist Christian, but I don't go to church. I don't think that I would have them. I don't think I would have them take me off the register. I don't care.
But I get that though, because it's kind of like, I think in Heather's mind, it seems like she's more so of I don't deal with them. I don't do anything with them. My name is just in a database. Like, I don't really give a fuck about that. So it seems like in her mind, she is like, has started the process, but not the actual process. Yeah.
You know what? I really have things in my mind when I come here, but then when I hear y'all discuss things, it makes me think about stuff. So I hate that about it. I love it.
It's a collaborative effort.
Right.
Well, you know, my thing is, my initial thought was Chad. Like, you know, I didn't think that she, even in Salt Lake City, is insinuated that she was, you know, like really doing that. When Whitney signed her papers, she was all for Whitney, but she ain't never saying shit, I'm signing mine too. You know what I'm saying? She just was in on the journey. Hearing that as a Baptist, what they say, I'm good in any hood. I don't got to go to church to let you know. I go to any Baptist church and feel comfortable. But if I felt like I really wanted to distance myself from them, I feel like there would need to be a grandstand made for it to be like solidified. So I do get that part of it, just hearing that part of it. I just think that Whitney, like the whole thing is just like nitpicking at Heather. At the end of the day, she wrote a book. She gets publicly drunk on TV. She talks about sucking dingling for Burger King. She does not have those morals, that moral compass. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't have that moral compass to be saying, okay, I'm still a Mormon. Like, I get that too. Like, I do too much shit for me to be like still holding this flag up. So I get that too.
Yeah.
I just think it's just nitpicky for me.
Yeah, she's legit a bad Mormon. She's still a Mormon. She's a bad one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I saw a comment from Spastastic saying not a grandpa moment with Lisa Barlow. So I ain't gonna lie, I did get a little excited when I saw Lisa on the thing. I'm like, oh my God, it's Lisa. Because Lisa, was once like my fave. I still enjoy her from time to time, and she was and probably still is a fan of the lean. So I have that little bias to her. But we know that this moment clearly was for Whitney. I don't know why Whitney is still pushing this whole Lisa thing, because Lisa did not give Whitney the time of day. And it's just like, even on the show, we saw this, but now obviously filming has wrapped. And for her to call, Lisa's like, hey, Whitney. I'm like, oh my God. Right. All these things. But in this conversation, Whitney just talks about all the drama. She talks about Heather telling all the girls that that Whitney is doing these things for TV, which Whitney essentially said it herself. Right. And she talks about how she threw her under the bus by saying that she hadn't gone through the process either, but she talks about why and says it's because she felt like Heather was telling all the girls she was doing stuff on TV. And I'm just gonna say, she makes a comment and says like, she feels like because Heather brought her to the show, she had a blind loyalty to her, but she's no longer going to be Heather's mop. And I'm like, so you went from Heather's mop to Lisa's mop? Or at this rate, you everybody mop? Because I mean, Whitney likes to portray that she is like being puppet mastered, but realistically, I think Whitney does what she wants to do. Like,
yes,
she's a little girl, but she's very intentional. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I hate that she tries to push it off on anybody. But yeah, give me your thoughts. If you had any thoughts on this scene, Jazz.
Fuck Lisa Barlow. That's number one. But Lisa, to me, she's a triggering white woman. She doesn't have any loyalty to anybody. She doesn't like either one of them. She likes Whitney now because that's beneficial to her. She never liked Heather, and that was I thought the whole reason behind their dissension from the first season. So I mean, Lisa is just whoever's cool with her, but she does not like Heather. That is true. That is just never gonna change. She just has a thing with Heather, and she was only entertaining her because of Jen in that situation there. So I thought Whitney again is just trying to, like, the way she was even explaining the things that was happening there in reference to Heather was just not true to me. It was just not,
and it was one-sided.
Very one-sided. So it was just like, now she got everybody on her side thinking that I'm a liar, as if the bitch didn't just do that 2 days before. Like, that's just, Whitney, girl, go suck a dang lane.
in the chocolate with the cake.
It seems like to me, like, because it's odd that Whitney will get in front of Heather and she's like, oh, I got to prove that, I'm loyal to her and that I do want to be her friend and in her confessionals. But then as soon as she gets the chance to like shit on Heather, she does that, which is crazy to me. It's like she really wants, I guess Heather isn't giving her the reaction that she really wants. So she's going to do whatever it is that she has to do to get it. I thought that the whole setup phone call with Lisa Barlow was funny. It was good to see Lisa, on the phone, but I still thought that it was funny. And they're still talking about stuff from shit. They went into their 4th season. So from 4 years ago, seemed to be that Lisa and Heather were in a good space. So I don't know why that's even still a relevant part of the conversation.
Yeah,
that part. Yeah, I wasn't really happy, or I was indifferent about seeing Lisa, but more so because of their relationship. Whitney and Lisa, I feel like it was just like, okay,
not authentic.
Yeah, it's like I'm okay with them being a duo if it can translate more authentic, but it's clearly not. From the whole season 3, I thought that we would get some authenticity from their friendship, but it still seems very surface and like y'all are doing it because you on the outs with Meredith and Heather's on the outs with Whitney. That's the only reason why. So it was just forced, and that was pretty much it.
Okay. Well, we'll skip past that, child, because Salt Lake City's over and right now, and I'm glad because that was a very draining season, so I ain't got to talk with nothing else about anybody than what's on this show from Salt Lake City. So Porsha and them order more KFC. I guess they're gonna eat KFC because I feel like, you know, Porsha maybe one of them girls that you go out of the country with, and she gonna keep looking for McDonald's and KFC because she don't want to try this. But hey, ain't nothing wrong with them kind of people.
I don't know though, because she said the KFC was like really spicy, so I might have to try it when I get there.
You gonna try it?
I mean, I feel like in different countries, even the Popeyes in New Orleans tastes different than the Popeyes in Nashville. Yeah. I just have to maybe try something every now and again. But I'm not actively looking for no McDonald's or Burger King out of the country.
I try not to be. There's nothing wrong with that, but I try not to be that person. You know, if it's available and I need something, I'm drunk or whatever, but not eat it. But that's, you know, I guess in this case, you know, honestly, Porsha's probably hungry, okay? Because they're in the house, and whatever Pepsi is giving them, she don't really want it. So we know that
Porsha cornbread fed.
She's a cornbread. She gotta eat. So I think that's probably why. But they get KFC. Leah is in her confessional, basically saying that she doesn't follow people, and she doesn't like that everyone is so cliquey and kind of being fake. She praises Candiace, basically saying like she's the only person here that had her back, and she hopes that when she comes back later that she'll have more nice things to say.
She's the only independent thinker.
The only independent thinker. So I guess.
I agree.
They get massages, and the massage scene, even before they made it into like a whole little thing, it was already given a lot. I'm like, this is a lot of damn moaning and grunting. Before they even acknowledged it, I was like,
I'm gonna find them too next week. So yeah.
Oh, you going next week?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Just record it and send it to the group.
Listen, go. I
will definitely record it.
You going by yourself?
No, 6 of us going.
You go.
Okay. After the massages, they finish the massages. Everybody, you know, get their back cracked and back whatever. I want to get my back cracked too. But Heather sits down with Gizelle for a quick conversation, and Gizelle basically wants her to call Jen Shah. Jen Shah don't answer. I was so glad she did not answer the damn phone because Gizelle was so pretty. She was like, "Oh my God, I look so pretty right now, don't I?" I'm like, girl, you just want to be nosy and get more tea and make this whole moment. I'm just glad Jen didn't answer. And
so
I mean,
glad.
So yeah. But nothing really happened there. But
I do hate that Heather even called though.
She called.
And I hate that she did.
Oh, you hate. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, they just kind of puppet masters. They kind of Heather are the easiest to be.
That's true. They so green and
anything to please the other girls, they're gonna do it.
They doing it.
Like, oh, I got some new friends.
All
right. And Gizelle also lied. Them women weren't playing in her cootie.
They drive down there. Honey, nobody want to play that.
If they weren't playing in Porsches, they weren't playing in Giselle's because we know Porsha got it.
Yeah, dust and fucking fountain.
Oh my God.
They went.
All right, so this is where things went down for the first time in the episode, the barbecue that they had, right? So at the barbecue, it's basically like Korean barbecue. I don't know if you guys have been to one before, but they have it in LA a lot. But basically, you make your own damn food. I ain't gonna lie. When I first went, my reaction was the same as I was like, I gotta make my own damn food. I should have brought some hot sauce and stuff like that. But they were all like, you know, all for it or whatever. Some were iffy, but you know, Leah can't eat it because everything is in pork oil. I hate that for her as a vegetarian too. But hey, it be like that, especially in Thailand. So don't go over there with no real eating restrictions because they don't really care about all that vegetarian shit, to be honest. And so Candiace, so Candiace wants to talk to Porsha. And as she's trying to get it out, she crying. Even as a friend, I'm like, girl, get it out, whatever it is. I'm thinking she's finna like backtrack on what they talked about already or something, like maybe apologize for the whole Simon thing. I don't know. I wasn't expecting this. I ain't gonna lie to you. And so when she comes out and says she basically did not like the comment that Porsha made in regards to the fight between Candiace and Monique on the chat room, where Porsha said that Candiace was suing Monique to finance her new home.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like she was supporting her, which I mean she was. I mean, I think she made other comments too. I thought she would mention those because I feel like there was a point where Porsha made the comment to where she felt like she kind of got what she deserved. I think.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
she would have brought that up too. And maybe she did, and they cut it.
Yeah, maybe they cut it. And so Porsha explains that she was supporting Monique because one, they were friends and trying to help her through the situation, and they also had in common that they had both got physical on camera. They both had fights, so that's what they were talking about. And you know, Candiace is like, well, listen, that what you were defending was not true. Like all these lies and stuff like that that came on social media about her throwing the glass first did not happen. Gizelle speaks up and says that, well, Candiace, I had your back on the same platform, so what's the issue? And Candiace says, well, yeah, you did, but she didn't get to speak on her own story, you know, make her own statement. And so they kind of go back and forth to where Porsha and Candiace get into it, you know, intense. And I ain't gonna lie, when they get into it, I kind of tense up because I don't really know where it's gonna go. I feel like I don't know if Porsha gonna sock her. I don't know if Candiace gonna say something real. I just don't know. And I think they both, you know, but Porsha in this franchise, in this show, she kind of is like not so easily angry. I don't know. It's
She
weird.
happy. She happy.
But basically, they go back and forth about who's a journalist, who got jobs, who got degrees, Google me, all these things. And Candiace makes a comment in the confessional that I thought very weird, where she says she hasn't learned from the first time that she said something that she repeated. If you know what we're talking about Phaedra. But the conversation ends with Candiace was like, we're done talking about it. Give me your thoughts on this whole thing. I'll start with you, Antonio.
Oh. That drains
a lot,
me.
I know.
I think that, well, in this situation, I agree with you, Cortez. I did not think that that's where Candiace was going with the whole situation. I did feel like, even from the very beginning, that there was going to be some type of tension between the two, because I do remember when they were on the Bravo chat room and some of the things that Porsha said. But also I thought, okay, but Candiace also eventually came on there. So maybe, you know, off camera they had discussed it or maybe said something about it. The funniest thing for me was when Candiace had that big ass piece of motherfucking newspaper, like up to her damn eyes. It was big as the fucking hat she had on the guy. That was crazy as hell. But it was just, I don't know. It was like, okay, that's old. She repeated something her friends told her. You know, they all do it. As far as the whole thing, like, oh, it was defamatory. It's like, girl, it was just some little shade. It wasn't anything where the girl tried to take you down with it or nothing like that. So, did Porsha and Gizelle, did Porsha try to get Monique to come on the show or something like that? Did I hear that correctly? To speak her piece? I thought they kind of said that, but maybe I
think she said something like that.
Okay. But yeah, and then I still don't feel like they got anywhere within that conversation, because Candiace was like, I'm done talking about it. And it's like, well, baby girl, you the one brought it up. You can't be done talking about it now.
I ain't gonna lie, I did was like, well, girl, you did bring it up, but you know, that's just...
You brought it up. Go ahead and finish it out, and y'all can completely hash it out. That's why a lot of this shit lingers, because they get to a point, it's kind of like, you know, bringing up stuff, and it's like, okay, we good. I don't want to talk about it no more. But the issue is still there, or however you're feeling, or your negative feelings towards this person is still there. So y'all never gonna be able to fully move forward if you keep walking away from the conversation that you brought up in the first place.
Jazz.
Look how quick I was on my mouth to say something. I was real ready. Okay. I think that she stopped the conversation because Gizelle jumped in it. I do not understand what Gizelle's reason was for jumping in the conversation, because she was talking to Porsha. I think that it is like, I just honestly maybe have too much, I get too much hope for them, because I honestly think them going into the situation on this girl trip, people are already telling Porsha, oh, you know, or, you know, she said, oh, everybody said I was gonna make her cry and we weren't gonna get along. Did you know why? You did not know that girl at all. And I love Porsha. Roll the fucking footage. Back. I love Porsha. But in the grand scheme of it, that was dead ass wrong, and all she really had to do was say I apologize. I was riding for a friend, but she in turn has a problem with Candiace's shady game about some shit that is true. You know what I'm saying? Explain yourself about you and Simon. But she didn't go around spilling all this tea that she didn't know. She don't know that girl. So I just feel like it's just kind of just delusional or just gaslighting for Porsha to be really even insinuating that she didn't understand the reasoning behind the conversation that Candiace was trying to have from the beginning. Gizelle jumping into it was another way for Gizelle to disregard her feelings of that. Okay, I wrote for you on the episode. Okay, bitch, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her. Thank you. Why is thank you not enough for Gizelle? If, you know, like, I mean, I really just did not get Giselle's point of jumping in it. I really hoped for the conversation to have gotten to a solution, but I just did not think, the way that Porsha and Gizelle are linked up is turning me off from Porsha. And I just know this is a girls' trip, but they are being mean girls and they're being cliquish, and you know they want everybody to want to be their friend. Like, we're the big bitches on the scene. And to me, it's just like, bitch, you spoke on some shit. You said I was trying to get a down payment on a house. Like, you don't even know me. And I feel like Porsha's old enough and has been on the show enough to own that accountability. I cannot stand the fact that, you know what I'm saying, Candiace is always the one having to apologize or own her personality and own the shit that she does. So, you know.
We know Porsha don't really own stuff either. You see how long it took her to own that situation with her and Candy and all of that?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yes, right. I mean, I just don't, but I don't, with Porsha, I would think that with her time away, that she would kind of hone in on this, you know, this big bitch that she's coming out as. Okay, I'm Porsha Williams. I am Real Housewives of Atlanta. They want me back. I just don't think that she needed to be clicking with anybody to get to have that. We already was excited to see her.
I agree.
Bitch, and you're not a journalist. With a bitch with degrees, like you're not a journalist. You got a journalism job, I guess, honey. We all gossip. I guess we got a journalism job too, shit. So I need Porsha.
We all journalists over here, baby.
We journalists. We as journalists. So I have a few things. One, I want Candiace to move on from the Monique situation. At this point, you know, everybody knows I love Monique, biggest Monique fan. I'm tired of hearing her name across this show since she's been gone. Like, it came up on Potomac each season since she's been gone. It's now Real Housewives Girls Trip. I want Candiace to move on. Two, the Porsha and Gizelle link up is showing us, and hopefully showing the producers, that Gizelle needs somebody to cling on to in order to really thrive on these shows. And I'm not saying that she can't do it as a standalone, but it's really showing us that she really plays best when she's with somebody else that is, you know, amping her up and helping her out. But when it comes to the situation at hand, as far as what Candiace was expressing, when they rolled the clip back, because I remember watching it when it came on, but I had forgot because I hadn't seen it so long. But when they rolled it back, Porsha did say that, I think she said something around the words of allegedly, that's what was going on. So I get why Candiace was upset, but Porsha wasn't really just maliciously saying that this is what it was. She wasn't stating it as a fact. She was saying it more so as, this is what, you know, word on the street is. Kind of essentially what Candiace did when it came to the shady game is the name. She said, word around the street is, this is how you got your man. So I felt like it was pretty much the same thing. I think that fight, or I don't even want to call it a fight, but I think that situation with Monique is really just weighing so heavy on Candiace, because even when they went further, you know, into the day, Candiace, the things that she says about Monique, she still has a very strong disdain for her. Like, it's not just I don't fuck with her. It's very like, she hates her. You know, to say you would bang somebody to death, I just thought it was a bit much. So I'm like, I need Candiace to go to some type of therapy, because I feel like Monique's name is going to come up once again in season 8 when they start filming some kind of way. And I feel like she needs to just really find a way to rid herself of Monique completely, because it's annoying at this point. You can't possibly believe that everybody was going to be on your side or look at things your way when it came to that situation. I feel like that's just how she goes into everything with that situation. She wanted everybody to see her side and not anybody else's, and that's not realistic.
Okay, then.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I want her to. I really want seeing the growth from season 5 and 6 to 7. Like y'all know in the group chat, I praise her every week. You know, just saying how great she's been. You know, she's a solidified housewife, and I just feel like that's going to continue to weigh on her and bring her down if she doesn't. You know, just rid Monique. She's not on the show no more. Get rid of the Monique weight.
Yeah,
whatever is connected to it.
I think is with this being on TV. And with it being like public, you know, like we all saw it, you know, that's I don't think, to be honest, I mean, we know, let's look at Kenya and Porsha. So Kenya did get drugged off their couch. And to this day, we don't see her really talk about it too much, but we never forget that Porsha was physical, right? Mm-hmm. We never forget that she went there to that place because we just don't. It happened. And so I think as the person that it happened to, you know, yeah, Kenya was able to get to a place to where she was even able to go on kitty dates with, you know, with Porsha. But I just think it's different. I don't know. For her situation, obviously took it a lot different than Kenya did. But I don't know.
So do you think that, and the only thing I can see that's different, you know, from a visual standpoint is the fact that Monique is no longer affiliated with the show at all. When Porsha got demoted, she was still all up and through season 7 as if she was a regular peach, you know, as if she was holding her peach. So I'm wondering if Monique was back on the show, would there be a way for them to, you know, get over it? I think that Monique being gone is what's making Candiace look really kind of, I don't want to say delusional, but it's making her look, you know, just like a crybaby almost, because it's like, Monique is gone, girl. She's not here anymore. And her name just continuously comes up, and it comes up, like I said, it's not just the fact that they bring up the situation, but Candiace really goes in anytime her name or that situation is brung up.
I do want to say one thing before we have to move on too, because I mean, we'll take another comment too towards the end. But she did say in this same conversation, she was like, it's less about the fight, it's more about the lies and everything that came out. Like, you know, how that she was the person that initiated the fight. And so when she said that, you know, I mean, do you feel like, I'm asking you, do you feel like it's about the fight, regardless of what she's saying that it's not? Or do you feel like it's truly about like the things that went out? Because she really didn't talk about like you was on her side unless they cut that out. She talked about you was on her side with these lies, you know, with these things that you've said, regardless if it was malicious or not. That's kind of what she seemed to focus on in this argument, but you know, that's just me.
I think to answer your question, I think that it's a culmination of all of it. I think that it's the fight and the aftermath of it, but I think that it's more so the fact that it was the fight and it was on TV. I mean, don't get me wrong, when you are publicly embarrassed like that, because I don't even want to say again that it was a fight. I don't think that it was a fight, but clearly she was the one who got, you know, more so attacked, I'll say. Yeah. So I get where she's coming from with that. But I think that it's more so that happened to her on national TV for everybody to see. I mean, they replayed the clip basically on Girl Trip. So it's kind of like she'll never be able to get over it.
It's just like,
because people are going to constantly keep bringing it up too. And I also feel like with the Kenya and Porsha situation, Porsha was seen to be the victim, even though she dragged that woman off their couch, because she had a scepter in her face, because she had a blowhorn in her face, and because Kenya is a villain. I would say Porsha was more lifted. Now, when it comes to Candiace and Monique, it was split, but I do think that, you know, that's why I just feel like it's just more of like a gaslight thing, because Porsha knows better. If somebody was doing it, they talk about her running behind people, dragging them, the boat, she done kicked Cynthia, she done dragged Kenya off the couch, she done pushed people, like, you know, Porsha has been really physical. So I could have almost got, like, we were talking about that, but to bring that on there and speak on as in facts, what I know is, because even in the moment, Porsha was like, I was saying her and Monique's facts, but they weren't facts. You don't know me. You do not know me. And all she had to do was say, I'm a ride for Monique. I know Monique. I like her. I don't know Candiace. To me, she was the aggressor. And that would have been okay. That's your opinion. But to go on into, you know, Monique says you talk about finances and stuff, come on now. That's gas.
I definitely think it could have been something that I would have liked to have seen a resolution in this moment.
Yeah.
But I guess we won't get that now. But somebody said in the comments that she was, Candiace was at her wedding. They are in a good place right now. They're not like beefing. Unless something comes from this show, they're in a good place. But let's move on, because you know, Potomac, that was the most draining season show to recap. Season 5, I ain't gonna lie. Potomac, and I don't want to go back because the league was almost not about to be here because it was too fucking much. I remember I took a whole break off of like a month or so, and I was like, That's when I was doing it by myself too. I was like, hell no, it's too stressful. Anyway, so after that, they play some games, and they put them in groups by their shows. But Porsha is with Leah. Poor Leah. That's hilarious. Poor Leah. Leah not want to be with her. And so they play a game with elephant suits and these balls, and then they play a game where they have to eat who can eat the fastest with these hands. Now I don't know why they did not put Heather up there to eat, because if they did, I'm just saying they would have won. But they put Heather in the back. They said nope. You said no.
Cortez, don't say that. Don't do that.
Don't do what?
If they didn't put Heather up there to eat.
No, to win the competition. No, I'm just saying she likes to eat. That's like putting Candy up there. Call it what you want. I'm just saying. It's your best competition up front. It's a game. All right, but when things get ugly, and outside of what they are now, they play this game where what she asked? Did she ask questions? I forgot what was it. What was it called?
She did. It was like a truth or dare.
Oh, yeah. Like, it was a spew or spit.
Spew or chew. Spew or chew it.
Spew or chew. Yeah.
Spew or chew it. I think.
Correct. So basically, in this moment, she asked these questions, and they were all for each person. Basically, they had to either say it or eat the damn scorpions, and they were real scorpions, like ew. So
I want to try it.
Question she asked. She asked Alexia which one of her men had the best sex. She rated them, right? So that was all fair. She said Todd being number one. Obviously makes sense. That's her current husband.
And I don't believe that.
You don't think so? Which one you think it was?
Definitely the one that had went to prison.
I think so too.
Oh, the one that was
daddies.
The one that was on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the show?
Yeah,
her baby daddies.
Yeah, I think he probably definitely did it too.
And I think he missing like a side too. You know he was saying her down, baby.
Ooh. And then they asked Candiace, would she kill, marry, or bang Monique? She said she would bang her to death. Chad didn't like they comment.
It was too much.
He said it was too much. And then they asked Leah, who does she not want to come back for the Real Housewives of New Jersey legacy reboot?
New York.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, New York. And she says that she's not going to speak on it. She says she don't do that messy shit. So she eats the scorpion with ease. But Candiace said if she was asked that question, she would say Gizelle. Fair. Okay. And so then they asked Whitney 3 times that Heather had lied on camera. And I'm going to tell you why I laughed at this, because Whitney said, listen, what me and Heather have going on, that's between us. So right now, I'm going to eat this scorpion because I refuse to go back down.
I'm going to show her I'm going to be her friend.
She said she don't want to be messy no more.
She said, I don't want to do this no more with her. I want to be in good.
She did say, I don't want to be messy no more.
Yeah, she said, I don't want to be messy no more.
I don't want to do this no more. I'm like, girl, come on, man. Listen, Whitney sound like she about to drop the baddest album of her life when she made that little speech.
I don't want to be messy no more.
Right, but she ate the scorpion. And then they asked Heather how she got the black eye. You know she ate the fuck out that scorpion. Not because of the first thing I said, because she ain't finna tell us nothing. And Porsha said, well, girl, you must know, because you said before you didn't know, and now you eating the scorpion. I was like, call it out, Porsha. Call it out.
Okay, Porsha thinking quick, that mind working.
Right.
As soon as I saw that scene, I said Cortez about to be drained as hell when I asked her about that black eye.
You know I hate that damn black eye. That is the worst.
She started down without chewing too. It was crazy.
She did. Okay. When I said I'm the problem. Okay, so yeah, that's why she should be in the damn eating competition. That's why, because she would have ate that food, they would have won. But nonetheless, more about Jen Shah, and the last question was she asked Marisol, who do you trust the least, playing off her own game from season 5, and she says Leah. Period. I said, okay, Marisol, any thoughts on these questions and these games? I'm gonna say, I don't know who helped Porsha with this game, but baby, they was working, because I don't think she came up with any of that on her own.
It was production.
Antonio.
Production.
I thought the game was fun. I said that this was probably, to me, out of the episodes that have aired so far, this was the best day of event game for me so far, especially being that Porsha had to kind of improvise, being that whatever the excursion that she had to cancel it because it was raining. But I thought it was really good. I don't understand. And I'm like, maybe Leah didn't know who was coming back on Legacy New York. And that's why she couldn't name nobody, because we know she wouldn't ask back. So maybe she know, and she just because had Leah ass been asked back, she would have been on that damn show. So we know she wasn't asked back.
That part.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I the people that did, like, I didn't think Alexia was gonna answer that question, but she did. I was like,
I'm living how when they was asking the questions, baby, the girls was like, ooh.
It was like, that's good.
Like there was some good questions.
What was Giselle's?
Giselle's. What was Gizelle?
What was hers?
I don't remember.
You remember Jazz?
I don't remember Giselle's
unless
question.
It was right before. I must have missed it or something.
I know she did. She asked us something. I just don't think it was as.
Shady.
Huh?
It wasn't shady.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was shady like some of the others, but she did ask her.
Yeah, I don't think she asked her, because I literally went down. Unless she did it before Alexia. Literally, then I don't think so. I think Alexia was first, right?
I believe Alexia was first too. I just don't remember her asking.
Okay, in the chat, if you remember what she asked Gizelle, let us know. But I don't think she asked her anything, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Because technically, wasn't it? No, that was all Porsha's day. So yeah, Porsha's time. So I don't know. I guess not. Not sure.
And I want to play volleyball in an elephant suit too. I want to do that. We should do that as the lean, and I know who.
It looks fun.
My team.
You want to be in the elephant suit?
Yes. Who's gonna be on my team? Me, Jasmine, Danny, and Chad.
Damn. Well, I guess I'll go with the rest of the girls. We're gonna win anyway.
Poor Leah, that's your name of y'all team.
We got it's gonna be called Poor Jamie. No, that's y'all some well wishes to Jamie. Jamie's not feeling well today, and we're gonna have a nice.
He was mad. He got a date. He told me on the side. Not just playing.
Not you telling his speed. He probably do, to be honest. And we know Jamie. All right, so that was the game. Wait, did y'all have any thoughts on it, Jamie or Chad, on the questions of the game? No. I mean, I call you Jamie.
Well, Jasmine, y'all do kind of look alike a little bit.
My bad, child. Y'all kind of acting like two. Not this way.
I can see that, and it's fine. That is totally right. I just want to say this being like just say Verona, just say somebody's name, say me. I don't know who. I mean, just say somebody. She's always just that. Oh my god, like emo bitch. Like I'm just like, get over it, bitch. Go home. You don't drink. You don't. All I want to do is talk about dick. Like, are you not getting none? And like the fact you want to talk about so much.
Listen, Leah said, I don't drink no more. I don't do mess no more. I'm done with all that bad stuff in my life.
She a saint.
All right.
She like
I don't on the trip, okay? Leave her at home.
She a good Mormon.
Right, correct. A good Mormon. Please.
She a Judas. Buddhist. Jew. One
of them cults.
So they're getting ready for the next part of the night, which is going to be the Mardi Gras thing. And Marisol and Alexia, for once, are getting tired of each other. They are basically annoying each other. I don't know how long it was going to take, but as much as they are joined at the hip, it's about damn time we seen them kind of have a little moment, because they never have an issue. It's always bro and bro, but now it's bro. You know, they baby. It's a little different. So we're gonna see them kind of go later. Yeah, y'all didn't get that from them? No,
it was the fact that you put on the inflections and the accent.
Oh. Is that what? Am I canceled too? Damn, you can't say shit no more. Can't do nothing. Damn. Okay. I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm just gonna cut my square off. All right, so there's they're getting ready for the Mardi Gras thing. They get on the bus, and on the bus, Gizelle is still upset that Candiace didn't feel supported. She didn't feel like what she said on the chat room was enough. And so she tells the girls, well, Porsha immediately sides with Gizelle by saying, like, she's saying that you were damaging her life by, but actually he's the one damaging your life by saying that her husband was, what you say about her making the false sexual allegations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Gizelle tells everybody on the bus, yeah, you know what else she said? They're like, girl, what'd she say? And like, she said that I'm the reason why women don't come forward with sexual allegations. And they're like, oh, she said that to you? She was like, yeah, she said that to me.
On camera.
But at this rate, Porsha is 100% on Gizelle's side. I really wonder how Porsha feels after watching the season.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, I mean, we just watched that season and Gizelle really downplayed that little moment for her own benefit. And I just really hate, like, I love Porsha too, but the more and more I do see Porsha is kind of easily swayed. She has a mind of her own, but that mind always goes the first thing she hears. And I'm
gullible.
Yeah.
Slow. I don't even say it's gullible. She's
now we are awakened, child. Now I still love my Porsha.
I love me some Porsha, but I can be honest about it.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, she got some of these things, child.
But well, let me say this though. In Porsha's defense, Gizelle had made it to Porsha like all I said was her husband came in the room and he made me feel uncomfortable. He made me uncomfortable in the room. They were looking at that like, oh, okay, well, that's not a big deal. But what Gizelle, did say completely different. Like your husband came in the room and like made it like Chris did something to make her feel uncomfortable.
Well, it's the same thing she did on the show. She kept using that word, and then at the reunion, that's why Andy asked her, what did he do?
Yeah. So if she was telling me about it, honestly, and she phrased it the way of he came in the room and I felt uncomfortable, that's all I said to her. I would have been like, well, shit, what's the fucking big deal, y'all? So I get why they were kind of, well, not they, why Porsha was kind of swayed to be like, oh, well, shit, I get where you coming from, Gizelle. Not to mention her and Gizelle already have some type of a rapport. But I think Gizelle is also using the fact that it's like, okay, well, I already kind of got Porsha with me. She's definitely gonna use that as much as she can. Yeah.
Well, she had the girls in the back. Who was it? Who was in the back? Was it Alexia or who was in the back?
Alexia and Marisol.
They was all like, oh, she said that. Giselle was like, yeah, she said that, guys. Yeah, she said it.
And I was like, stop motherfucking lying.
I cannot believe her, like the way that, like I said last week, the way she cries. Porsha, sometimes maybe it's her teeth. I don't know what it is about it, but I don't believe when she cries. I didn't believe that she was, and she is making you look like you are the one that did that. Like,
it was so much.
You sound just like her.
You
sounded just like her.
I can't believe that you are the one that's doing that. Like, bitch, are you from the fucking 1940s? Like, it's hard for me to believe when she gets to that way because, like I said, regardless of how full this bitch is, she is 40 years old. She has lived a long life so far, 41, and she's been in this situation in this Real Housewife world for too long to be so gullible, is what Chad said. Like, I'm starting to think that she's just playing dumb. Because I don't know, like I've seen her, and I just don't know. She's just, and now you're the one, and he goes Gizelle, yo.
Yeah, she was like, she said that.
He said that on camera. As if you just didn't say that bitch husband was doing sneaky link shit on camera. Like, you're not mentioning Michael Darby on camera. Like, cut the bullshit.
That part.
Chad.
And it's even, I'm sorry, Chad, one thing. It's even crazy when Porsha and Gizelle were on Watch What Happens Live. Andy kind of tried to bring up some stuff from the season, and Gizelle pretty much was like, yeah, I'm leaving that where it said. I'm not talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
She can't. Nobody is siding with her. Nobody has sided with Gizelle on this other than Porsha in this moment. Like, nobody believes that. Maybe Ashley Darby and maybe, what's that girl name? Elmo, what's her name? It's Sesame Street. Those girls. But other than that, nobody is giving Gizelle that. It's best that she leaves it in season 7. Because if it comes back up, it's not gonna go in her favor.
I agree.
Chad, do you have anything you want to add?
No, my comments reflect Jasmine's. Like, it's Porsha can't be. I think she's starting to play on the fact that we all call her dumb. Because at this point, you can't just be continuously doing this long in the Housewives game. Like, no, She got to be. I think she's adding on to it.
Yeah,
on purpose.
So they get to the Mardi Gras dinner, and they're all dressed up. Gizelle gives us the history on why this dinner is so important to her and the theme. Somebody in the comments said we do not claim Gizelle.
Well, I don't know. I'm Creole.
No, not true. Somebody in the comments said they don't claim Gizelle. As listen, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm not Creole, but Jazz, hey, did they do it right? Did she speak?
Yes, I love it. Yep. I love it. I love seeing Wednesday.
Where my umbrella at?
Gizelle wasn't. She can't dance. She can't do her stiff ass hips. So need somebody that is going to do it. You know, she's stepping down.
Jasmine
ass hips.
Cut it out, Jasmine.
You are nuts.
So yeah, it starts to rain, so they have to go inside. And they play the infamous Reasonably Shady game. I will say that was probably one of the best episodes for Potomac, in my opinion. It was so chaotic because that was probably like the one chaotic scene I've ever seen from them. But they play the game, and she asks all these questions, and clearly, just like when she played it last time, the questions are geared towards a person. So the first question, I can't remember.
She came up with these questions.
Oh, yeah. She definitely came with these questions. I don't know. What did she ask Marisol? I missed it. It was something about her being sick or something, but I missed it.
Oh, it's something like when the person, is it shady when the person says they're sick, but you don't know if they're really sick or something like that? Is it
no, but they continue to, but they still interact with everybody or something
like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Marisol, she called in and was just like, I was sick. What else? And I'm gonna say I am thoroughly enjoying Alexia and Marisol. And I mean, it's refreshing to just see them out of this Miami element because I liked, if I didn't watch this last season of Miami, I'd be like, these bitches is fun.
I like them.
They I think Marisol and Alexia act like OGs, even though they were off camera for so long. They act like OGs.
They do. I agree. They definitely. We're gonna talk about that too, because I want to talk about that. So the next question that she asks is it reasonable or shady to say that your French to take the credit for other franchises' success when your show has been canceled? And Alexia immediately called it, and she said, well, that's not what I was doing. I didn't say pave the way. I wasn't taking the credit. She goes on this long little trip, but she circles back by saying, and I'll say it again, I'm standing on it. We were gone for this amount of time, but we were also here before you, Gizelle, and we were here before you, Salt Lake City. And I was just like, you know what? I mean, she got a point here. I'll stop there. Give me your thoughts on those two, because I want to make sure we get to speak on all these. Alexia held her own, I will say. I mean, but she still was hers. I still saw Alexia. Like, that's the same Alexia from Miami. She would definitely say what she got to say. But somebody give me their thoughts on these two questions first. We'll move to the next one.
The first question, the one from Marisol, I thought was like, that's all you could come up with, whether it be reasonable or shady. I was like, okay, cool. But the one with Alexia, Gizelle did kind of add some sauce or whatever you want to call it. She lied a little bit because I didn't recall her using like that they paved the way, but she did say, they were able to be gone for 8 years and come back and be still just as strong as the Housewives franchises, which is the other franchises, which is amazing. However, is like the other Housewives also, the other franchises didn't have to go away for 8 years.
And somebody could have easily said, and y'all also on Peacock.
That too.
But nobody said that.
that too. But I was like, the other ones didn't have to go away for 8 years to still be able to remain relevant and stuff like that. Like they, Larsa was on, she was gone for 8 years. She's like a completely different race and person now. But
let me say something, Antonio, I will say this. Some of them should have probably went for 8 years because maybe they would have came back fresh too.
Well, maybe they should have went away for a few. I agree with that. Now, I do
some of them should have went away for a few years and took a break and came back because a lot of them need reboots. No shade.
I'm with that.
I'm sorry. You done, Antonio?
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
So I think that Giselle's intention with the Marisol question was to get the girls to basically say that she was lying about being sick.
Okay.
I think that's what Gizelle was doing. I think she was trying to basically make it seem like Marisol just didn't want to interact or whatever, but it didn't go that route, you know. And like Marisol said, I was sick, so you know, I don't know what you want me to do about it. And with Alexia, I do see both sides as far as like, you know, the other franchise didn't have to get paused, but I think that we have to keep in mind that Miami came right after Atlanta, and Atlanta literally set Housewives up to be what Housewives is. It was kind of no competing with that at that time when Atlanta came on and then Miami came on right. No, Jersey came on after Atlanta and then Miami. So Jersey was able to fight through it, but Miami, I think they were caught up with the whole DC, how it was like, we like them, but they not that. You know, everybody was comparing everything to Atlanta. It was no other people you could compare to. So I think that should be taken into consideration. Potomac, y'all, I think Potomac honestly could have been on the chopping block had season 5 not happened, in my opinion.
Possibly. I will say too, Alexia's answer was well placed considering this last season they just had. Because I think, you know, people can agree to disagree, but I think they probably over the last year had the most solid Housewives season. To where
absolutely.
Of all, like from Beverly Hills to Salt Lake City to Potomac, all over the last year, I think this season 6 for Miami was probably the best. I mean, that's just my opinion though. Jazz?
I mean, I don't really have any thing to say about Miami. I don't watch Miami. I am going to start, but I wanted to finish this first. But I did want to say that I think Alexia's answer was pretty good, and she didn't back down, and that really impressed me because, I mean, it's just like, because even after she answered, Gizelle was like, well, because I was feeling some type of way about it. Like, bitch, who are you though? Like, BB said you are starless, bitch. Everybody is starless. And I mean,
you can also tell.
What's that?
What are they?
Starless.
Starless.
You can tell within Alexia and Marisol's demeanor too that they'll go against anybody on that cast. They're not about to you can tell that if it comes down to it, they're gonna be ready. They don't have to go that route.
For sure is going to go. That's what I can't admire about her. She ain't backing down to nobody.
Nobody.
Marisol, yeah, she might have to get drunk, but I mean, I don't know.
About to get
Marisol. I didn't watch Man back in the day, but per Jamie, you know, Marisol didn't used to be this way. She didn't really stand up for herself. So this is good from what they say. But let's move on with the rest of this dinner. So the next question after that was another moment that caused an issue, because the question was, is it reasonable or shady to call someone a bully when they're not being one? This was at Candiace saying that Gizelle and Porsha were bullies, and Candiace said they were indeed bullies, and Porsha like, who bully? She was like, shady 1, shady 2, and you got the same color on. And Porsha was not happy. Porsha's face was like, bitch. She was not here for it. And so Leah chimes in and was like, yeah, I was definitely bullied. Yeah, they bullied me. Yeah, they did. I was like, oh, Candiace, now at this rate, now you got this damn lady chiming in. Like, we don't need that. Like, I get what you're trying to do. And I've seen some comments last week where they said they felt like they were being bullies. I do feel like they are a bit mean girls. But I don't think Candiace needs to give her that ammo. Not Leah. The wrong person.
She already a victim.
She already a victim.
Oh, victim Leah.
But I do understand where she came from, although I don't agree with her, you know, defending Leah all the way in that moment and how they were coming at her. We talked about it on Sunday. I do think, you know, it needed somebody, because at their rate, she didn't need both of them going that hard over that. That's my opinion. Any thoughts on this little bully thing? Do y'all think they were being bullies? What do y'all think?
No, I don't.
Mean girls, not
bullies. No, definitely mean girls.
Okay, let us know in the comments if you thought they were being bullies. Gizelle is a bully, but
I do think that when you have a whole group of people, you know, going at one person, it can come off that way. But I don't think they were being bullies.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think they're in general being mean girls to everybody. Now, is Leah a victim? No, because she's a wet blanket. She sucks the air out of the room. So I think that she You know, no, I just, oh my gosh, I don't want to answer questions. Like, I think Leah is like jumping on that, and I hate, again, Candiace is taking up for her, but I get it because they are doing that, but Leah's definitely warranted a lot of the shit that she's been getting.
But even with that, though, I feel like, okay, you said, they, not you guys, but, they were being bullies or, they were being mean girls. It's like, okay, well, then all of them is fucking mean girls. Because, Leah, we seen what you did to fucking Marisol, so it's like, are you a bully as well, for kind of coming at her the way that you did? So I didn't like that at all. I didn't like the setup of the whole bully thing. I didn't like it at all.
Bully and mean girls, my different sense of it, I see somebody ask, what I think of it is like a mean girls are like cliquish, like the movie Mean Girls, without like, like the physical touching or just like outright making people just tearing people down. It's just more cliquish, mean, like, oh, this is our clique, this is our friends, we're gonna ride and we're the cool ones type of thing. Bullying is just kind of just like taking it to another level to me. It causes physical stuff. Right. It brings you it's like talking about your body and everything that's wrong with that person. Like, I mean, some people might think it's one of the same as a former mean girl. It's not. So
Nachi was a mean girl, Jazz. That's crazy.
She said, as a former mean girl. Let me run these receipts back.
Are you implying that she's still a mean girl?
I'm implying that she's
bad
a precious
Mormon and
angel.
Bad Christian. Right?
I was a mean girl. I was a Candiace. I never started it, but I'm a rat tat tat. I'm still a rat tat tat. So.
Yeah, Jasmine used to be. I know Jasmine back in the day. She was definitely rat tat.
You said Chad, period. Is that what you said, Chad?
She's a Taurus, so period. Yeah. I get it.
Rat tat tat, and she is from chat. So yeah, that's a.
What's that? Period.
All right, so let me get to this last part. So the last thing they asked there for the reasonable or shady game was, is it reasonable or shady to give a book title that you don't believe in? This is coming at Heather and her book title, and then Whitney said it was Heather said it was reasonable, right? Or shady. She said it was shady.
She said it was shady.
But basically, Whitney uses this time to say that she wants to support Heather throughout her journey. I guess in this moment, it seems like Whitney is trying to say, you know what? Like she said earlier, no more drama, no more pain. Let's get through this game. That's what she said, or is saying, right? That's
I don't want to be messy no more.
Baby, Whitney J. Blige. Whitney J. Blige is done with this mess. Okay. And then, but Alexia chimes in, and Alexia was like, listen, it's like a divorce. Like, she doesn't have to go through this process. Like, if she's not living in that moment, then she's good. I'm like, Alexia, yeah, you would say that the divorces you had, because your situations has been very different. But basically, like I said, Whitney says that she wants to support Heather, and that is the end of that scene. Did you have any thoughts on these last two reasonable or shady questions? The book?
Whitney is just fake as hell.
She is.
She want to keep saying this on TV, hoping that people can grab onto it and say Whitney was trying to be supportive. We see it, Whitney. You are being fake and phony.
Yeah.
And she's setting up a little something for the next season as well. Even in her little confessional or whatever you want to call it, interview that she had when she came in, she clearly is going to go at Heather some more.
Yeah.
In the remaining episodes. So yeah.
Like everybody
with her dirty foot ass, she is fake. Because you know, if feet dirty, she always walking around barefoot.
Ooh, it smells like bologna, right?
It probably was the bologna.
Oh my God.
Not y'all. Allegedly, it was the bologna.
Y'all are so stupid.
We don't want to be like, some of these. We ain't taking no lawsuits. So everybody say allegedly. 1, 2, 3.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Y'all said in the chat too, because they get people in the chat too. I know somebody they didn't get.
Where's Mel beans?
I don't know. And so that is the dinner. As they're heading back, Porsha basically is over the whole Whitney and Heather thing, as we all are. Candiace admits to having anal sex with a much smaller penis. I'm like, listen, ain't nothing wrong with it, baby. Do it every day. And then we get Whitney in the confessional, which somebody just mentioned earlier, that it looks like she's about to kind of go back to her old way. So, are there any final thoughts on this episode? Anything in the episode before I pass it over to our callers?
It was fun. It was funny when Porsha was like, I wonder what they talking about in the other man. And then they cut to the other man, and Leah like, have y'all ever had anal sex? It was like that's
typical Leah.
But I'm looking forward to the remaining 3 episodes of the season.
Is it 3?
I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
You know what? You are a good Christian. We got a good Christian and a bad Christian.
Oh my goodness!
I'm just putting it out there because they're already on like day 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Majority of everybody that had damn events. It ain't too many more events they can have. They only got like.
I don't think it'll be no more than 7. They're gonna. I mean, I don't think so. I think 10 days was accounting for them going. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it takes about a day to get there, and a half, and a day and a half to get back. So that's 3, and then you got 7. So we're gonna go with that. I don't think they filmed 10 days in a row. I'll confirm. I'll ask.
I was surprised that Heather had not done anal sex.
You said Heather has not?
I was surprised that she had not done anal.
She a Mormon.
She a bad woman.
She's a bad woman. She sucked a dick, man. Sorry.
Heather did have anal sex.
I'm curious on that. I'm just saying. I was just surprised.
All right. Well, we got a call in the queue. Let's go ahead and get this caller on. If you're watching right now, like this video and subscribe. As I always say, we really appreciate it. Keep us in the algorithm. We're here every Thursdays for the Real Housewives Ultimate Girl Shifts Thailand season 3. Hopefully for 3 more weeks per Antonio. I love
trying to battle.
Speak.
I mean,
we got people in the queue. All right, we got 3 callers. Let's get them on. First caller is going to be Kyra. What's going on, Kyra? What you got for us?
Jesus, I think we have 3 callers. Because I wanted to say something serious, but okay, quick thing.
Hold on, wait a minute. I can't hear you. Say something.
Well, Kyra came in with.
Baby, you came in so fast.
Baby. Wait a minute.
Well, first of all, I talk already fast, and then I was I'm just
but it was like, you just went like this.
Because I wanted to have like a serious moment because something like kind of bothered me, and I was like, I'm gonna say it, but I still wanted to touch on a few light moments.
You came in with no lube, child. Let's go ahead.
I did. I'm sorry. I apologize. We already deal with you talking fast already.
Go ahead.
Okay. To me, I don't know what Whitney skis is because we get Heather. Heather is a people pleaser and she has no self-respect. I don't necessarily know what Whitney's thing is. Like, I can't understand it. She's a weirdo. Why are we calling Lisa right now? That's very strange. It's like she's done so much work to prove everything from their previous season that just played. Like you saying you're doing things on TV and then you somehow involving Lisa into mess between you and Heather. And then you like wrapping up your person. You were so upset with Heather about not riding with your journey of you understanding your childhood trauma. And all of a sudden you're hitching on to Heather's journey with her religious trauma. That makes no sense to me. So that's my first thing. I can't remember if it was Chad or Antonio. Yes, this proves that Gizelle needs a sidekick. And I don't know where that goes because Robin's got to go. Robin and Gizelle both have to go. Chat. But we know that Giselle's probably the least likely to go. So I don't know what does that say about her that I feel like that she needs a sidekick like this. Because she can't really fully banter by herself. She can't really fully set up things by herself. It just is very strange. What else happened? I guess nothing really else happened, I guess. The games are fun. I don't believe that Porsha set this up by herself because we've really never seen Porsha set up her own event like this. All of her time in Atlanta. And I don't think it's a great sign for a housewife, for a reality TV star to be on a show that doesn't necessarily involve violence all the time, for you to feel like when she's in conversations with people, your butt's clenching. Because that means that she does have a history of violence and you're worried about her popping off. And we're also not going to forget that her last show that she was on, she literally had a fight with her child's grandmother. Was trying to hit her child's grandmother.
And the daddy. And the child's daddy.
And was throwing boom mics and stuff like that. So
that's all right.
I mean, I guess this could do some good work on like rehabilitating Porsha if people did watch her show, because she was acting a fool on her show. On and off. Okay, now my serious moment. Right with me.
Wait. Before you start, I want to say I do think that Whitney's you're saying you don't know what her I think her thing is being famous, because also, if you recall on this episode, she mentioned how, well, of course, we know the whole TV moment thing, but she also mentioned how she has a certain loyalty to Heather for bringing her on the show. I think that I think if she ever got demoted, she wouldn't really know how to operate.
Okay.
She loves the fame.
That's a fabulous point, because to me, it's like your whole time, though, your argument has been that Heather has not been writing for you and you guys been cousins. Now, all of a sudden, your issue is you feel loyal to her because she brought you on the show.
Yeah.
But you've been saying cousin all this time.
She like being famous.
It
that's all.
changes all the time.
Okay, I'm gonna be fast because I know we have other callers. Serious moment. Something somewhat similar happened to me, to Candiace. Except for there was no table and I was leaving a building and didn't know the person was behind me and they accosted me on the street. Someone thankfully pulled to the side and asked if I wanted to call the police. To this day, I regret not calling the police because the person closest to me does not believe my story. And when I say I don't feel safe around this person, they told me I don't really believe you because they didn't see it for themselves. And later on, I think a year or so later, I found out that a friend actually was sitting in their car and kind of saw it and didn't even intervene. And this is just 2 or 3 people. I cannot imagine if I was on TV and that happened. And it wasn't necessarily me being physically accosted. It was someone I hold so dear to me saying they didn't believe what happened, saying when I tell them I don't feel safe around this person, I don't feel safe emotionally or physically, I don't believe you. Now put that on where someone goes for a year and lies about how it starts, regardless if you think she is as involved, you felt the need to lie about how it started for one reason. You're also going behind trying to cancel and get a job taken away from me. And then you were sharing screenshots trying to make it look like I was suing you to get your friend on Bravo chat room, that is not journalism, for a Bravo chat room show, to say that I was suing you for money. And because her whole thing on that show the whole time was everyone was jealous and they wanted money. And the one time she decides to put hands on someone, it's a person who actually will sue her, even though she said before she didn't put hands on someone else because they would sue her for everything. And now that you actually messed up, now you're going to say, I'm suing you to get my other house. I don't know if anyone else has that feel to be publicly embarrassed and then no one wants to take your feelings into account. And I have moved past it. I can talk about not getting crying or anything like that. I can even be around that person. But if you try to talk to me about that situation, my feelings are very strong about it. That person is blocked. I want them around for any important things. And I still side-eye my loved one who doesn't believe that I don't feel safe. Mm-hmm. So for so many people to tell this woman, you deserve it. Yeah, you deserve it. And that anytime she gets into a disagreement with someone else, they bring up that woman to say, you didn't learn your lesson. You need to be hit again.
Somebody said that to her?
People always, every time she gets into a disagreement, Gizelle and Robin said that, and actually said that last season. Season 6.
Oh, okay.
So to me to say that like she looks like a crybaby or like this wasn't go away, the other person also speaks and the other person also holds on to the lie that the glass was thrown. That's why she started the fight. That's why she got physical in the first place. So even if you believe they're both involved, if someone's saying this was messed up to me, and you all know that she purposely lied for a year, and your friend goes on TV. Say, I riot for my friend because you are also a violent harlot. Say, I riot for my friend. I have nothing else to say. But don't be a part of her campaign to act like I assaulted her first. And now I am suing her because I'm this little girl who has nothing, even though the whole thing on the show is I'm a little girl who relies on her parents too much. Now all of a sudden, I'm a brokey who needs to sue you after you put your hands on me. That's a mindfuck.
Okay, Kyra, I got some more callers in. I appreciate, but I see people in the comments that they, wish you peace.
Oh my God!
You said you still be around that person, baby. That's growth because I couldn't. But
I couldn't. But I just wanted to share this. No.
You be safe outside. You call me.
Shit. My motherfucking back.
All right, Kyra.
Bye, Kyra.
Bye. Thanks, Kyra.
Okay, we have another caller. And again, shout out to that growth, baby, because I couldn't be that grown. Being around somebody like that. All right, what's going on, Megan? How you doing? Long time no see.
Hi, guys. Yes, hey. Long time no see. I'll keep it quick. Someone who cannot pronounce reciprocity should stop calling himself a journalist.
Oh my God.
Jesus. it really does irk me as someone who does have a journalism degree. Yes, I graduated 2019, Seton Hall. Let's go Pirates. Someone who like I'm not gonna say it's the hardest thing to do, not like getting a job as a doctor or anything. I wasn't in school for 10 years, but it is a degree that you have to work for. Yes, did she get on a platform like Dish Nation? Yes, but she was a television personality that was fortunate enough to get a media job. She is not a journalist. Nina Parker is a journalist. Gayle King is a journalist. Sunny Hostin is a journalist. Those are journalists who report on facts.
You forgot to say
Oh, you didn't. We're not.
Oh my God, the lead.
You have the degree in it, so you can tell me I ain't one. It's cool.
No, I will say you guys are, because even when you are saying rumors, you don't say, oh, well, my friend told me, so that's what I was just saying on TV. I was just doing journalism. You guys don't do that. So that's what she calls journalism, quote unquote. And I will say with Candiace, I just wish she wouldn't cry so much. Lord have her. I like Candiace. I do love her growth. Yes, Tamron Hall is a journalist. Yes, Tamron Hall. I think that it is very frustrating when she is in a situation where every time she tries to express how she's feeling, I feel like she's constantly put on the defense of, well, you shouldn't be feeling that way. Gizelle inserting herself into a situation and saying that, Candiace, you shouldn't be upset anymore because I rode for you, which she really didn't. She kind of laughed it off and was just like, oh, Porsha, don't say that. Don't say that, Porsha. That's not why she wanted to sue her, da-da-da. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. If you are in a situation where someone shaded you, even if it was over 2 years ago, I don't care. If this is the first time we're really meeting face to face, we really haven't addressed it, and I want to address it. The argument shouldn't then be, oh, well, you shouldn't be that upset because I defended you. And it was a weak defense anyway. And Gizelle literally said, that's how I know she's delusional, because Candiace was like, it's not the same thing. And she's like, it kind of is. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, it is not the same thing. But anywho, just one more thing, which I've kind of noticed. I put this down in the chat. The Gizelle redemption arc is happening in like, I like see it happening in real time. So freaking interesting. Just like from what I've seen on Twitter, people like the Watch What Happens Live the other night, and people loved that she looked good for the first time in her life, and they're like, oh my God, see how Gizelle looks, and it's just like how quickly we forget. Also, I don't know if you guys mentioned
not
this,
all of us.
Not all of us, not us. When I say us, that doesn't mean us here. That means us, them. But I don't know if you guys mentioned it, but like at some point, Porsha made a joke referring to Gizelle as like that white black girl or something.
Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning. Yeah.
Okay. So to me, I'm just like, well, that was basically what Candiace, it wasn't a joke when Candiace said it, but Candiace she said the proximity to whiteness. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's like, what am I saying? And Porsha said the same thing, kind of, sort of, but it's Porsha, so it's fun. And it's not that serious. So I feel like attaching Gizelle, I don't know if Gizelle was thinking about this in real time, but like it is a smart move to attach yourself to someone who is kind of a fan favorite and a franchise favorite, because it seems like everybody is just very quickly forgetting what this woman has done. And now it's back to, oh, well, that's just Gizelle. She's just this. She's, she's one of the best housewives. Like, just give it to her. She's messy, shady, blah, blah, blah. So I just think that's very interesting. And yeah.
Okay. I agree with the Gizelle redemption arc. I see it, and I participated in it myself as well. But I think that there's a difference in what Candiace said to her about the black-white thing versus what Porsha said. Porsha was saying like you're acting like basically like an Oreo, like a black girl in a white woman in a black girl's body.
Right.
Candiace was saying like you are favored because you look like a white woman. So I think it's kind of different.
Right. That is true. What I also that's reminded me what I will say. Just last thing real quick. What was I gonna say? The whole duo thing. Yes, Gizelle has to attach herself to someone, but I do think it's interesting that in this duo, she is not top dog. It's Porsha. And it's interesting to see her, in my opinion. To me, in my opinion, Porsha is kind of like the Gizelle. If this were Gizelle and Robin, like she's playing Gizelle, and I think Gizelle is Robin in this scenario, if that makes sense. So I just think that's interesting that she kind of has to play second fiddle and is kind of like nipping at the heels of like the bigger person in the duo. I just think that's interesting. Okay.
All right, Megan, we got one last card.
Bye, Megan.
Thank you for calling in today. Okay.
Bye.
All right. That was Megan. We got one last caller, and it's going to be Brittany. Hey, Brittany, how you doing?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We doing good. It's Thursday. It's almost the weekend.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. What you got for us?
So I'll start off by saying I'm really enjoying this season. I wasn't one of the people that had low expectations, but I didn't know most of the ladies. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Saying that, can't stand Whitney. I can't stand her. Just fake.
You don't watch Salt Lake City?
No, I've only seen like clips here and there, but I don't like watch it regularly. So I wasn't caught up on Whitney or Heather. But I actually dislike Whitney a lot more than Leah. Leah doesn't seem to bother me. Maybe it's because I don't take her that seriously. Like she's kind of just sitting there, giving her one comment, whatever. But Whitney is like actively trying to turn people against Heather. And it's like, girl, you're on vacation. Like it's just so calculated. So do not like Whitney. When it comes to the Candiace and Porsha thing, I will say this. I'm glad that Candiace brought it up because whether Porsha wants to acknowledge it or not, it was the elephant in the room. And so somebody had to say something. So I'm just glad that Candiace got it off her chest and admitted that it actually was bothering her. But what I want Porsha to acknowledge is you didn't just say it and it was done. Porsha knows that she has a big fan base. When you said that, you emboldened all of your fans to then pile on to Candiace even more than what she was already experiencing. So I think that's one of the reasons why Candiace kept saying it wasn't the fight, it was the aftermath. It was the constant talking about it. So if we as an audience were like, whoa, this is too much, this is toxic, imagine what Candiace feels like when she's literally in the eye of the storm. Like I can't even think about even what her private messages look like, right? We only see the public, but what about all of the DMs that she got, especially saying that she was getting death threats, which is insane. So it was all of that pile on, and Porsha just added to it, leading me to Gizelle. I think Giselle's a sociopath. Like, I do not get it. When she was sitting in that van and said, all I said was that Chris made me uncomfortable, I'm like, and what's crazy is I think this was filmed before season 7 aired, right?
Yeah, this was filmed 2 weeks after the finale. So the finale was 4th of July weekend. They filmed this like 2 weeks later, week and a half later.
Okay, so I'll give Porsha and I think Alexia a pass because they didn't know and they were kind of just trusting Gizelle. But what's crazy is Gizelle knew. She knew that she said so much more than that, like the sneaky link, and he was trying to come on to me, going and sitting with Ashley's friends and laughing at them lying about Chris and Eddie. Like, Gizelle knew she did way more than just make one comment to her. So for her to really sit there and say she didn't appreciate me telling her about her husband, I was like, how does that make any sense, especially since she's mad at Wendy for doing less? So that's one of the reasons why I can't stand Gizelle. It's like she can say whatever she wants, she can do whatever, but when it's done to her, not even at the same level, she just cuts people off like nothing happened. So I definitely see what you guys were saying about the redemption arc. Some people changing their minds. Me, I think Giselle's the same as she's always been. It's just that she is now attached to Porsha and not Robin. But she's the same. So I can't. She's insane. But I'm loving this season so far.
I'll say this too before you go. I think it's similar to how I said, like, I'm enjoying Alexia and Marisol. but on their show, like if you, because you watch Miami.
A little bit. I have to get caught up.
You watch that show. I don't think people really don't like Alexia like this. She's not a favorite.
They are insufferable.
And so I think it's like that. Now, I have seen people, give Gizelle that, but I don't think that there will be a redemption for Gizelle. I think people once we get out of the Ultimate Girls Trip mind and we get back to Potomac, I think everybody will revert back to where they need to be. That's my
so when she I see, because then she'll be going up against Karen, who's a fan fave over there. So I'm sure they'll be mad at her again.
Right. The only people on this cast that are still the same annoying little heifers are Whitney and Heather. They are the same on their cast as they are on this show. Everybody else seems to be a little different. Porsha is still the same. Candiace is about the same. Everybody else is like the same, but that's just how I feel. So I don't know. But we'll see.
Yeah, but I think Porsha having a break from Atlanta has done her well. I think Chad said it, that she seems like happy, and I completely agree with you. Like, I think that break and her knowing that she doesn't have to go back and film right after this, it has done her well. So I kind of do wish they gave the other ladies a little bit more time, maybe like a month, just to decompress. Because then I think we would have a new drama instead of keep talking about the old stuff.
Okay. Well, thank you, Brittany. We're going to get out of here in a second. I appreciate you calling in, okay?
Thank you. Have a good night.
Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
Antonio Carey said, what you put in your beer because she needs something for her man. Okay?
Tell her DM me and I'll tell her what I do.
Not gatekeeping.
It's real nasty. It's real nasty.
When now when can we advertise no brand over here unless they paying us?
Real nasty, Carrie.
You don't care. You don't want to know who he put in that beer, girl.
Just some simple olive oil. That's it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some olive oil. On that note, thank y'all for watching tonight. Thank you. Oh, geez. Airplane? Damn. We thank y'all for watching tonight. Thank you to Brittany, Kyra, and Megan for calling in. Definitely some great commentary, great energy too. So we appreciate that. And thank you, Jamie. Keep saying Jamie. Thank you, Jasmine.
This is getting ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? This is getting ridiculous.
If I called you Sammy? No. You know what? No. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, all of y'all watching today. And we will see you guys next Thursday for Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, or next Monday for the damn Queens R&B, or next Wednesday. Like this video, and we'll see y'all next time, okay? Y'all have a good night.
Peace.